Hello, everyone. I think we are ready in time, so we can start, depending on your time zone. Today we have this amazing roundtable, this amazing experts. We are planning to talk about new upcoming changes in the App Store. Today we have me. My name is Nika Grigorieva, and I'm working at Ada Health, Berlin-based company, Symptom Health Checker. And here we have amazing 4 experts, Lina, Vera, Mateusz, and Ryan. And I think they can represent themselves.
Okay, I can start. My name is Vera. I work as a UA lead and also with ASO at Wolt, which is a delivery company. So first we were mainly focused in food delivery, but now during the past year, we've expanded quite a lot, and we mainly operate in Europe and then mid-Asia and then Japan.
Hi.
All right, so maybe I'll go next. My name is Mateusz. I work as an ASO consultant at Phiture. And for those who don't know Phiture brand, we are a mobile growth consultancy based in Berlin, working with team behind leading apps from all over the world. And yeah, I'm super excited to be here, and I'm passing by to Ryan.
Thanks. My name is Ryan. I'm based here in Berlin. I work as a freelance ASO consultant. I teach brands, agencies, startups, processes of ASO and growth marketing. And I also work on several projects for Neil Patel Digital in California.
And my name is Lina. I was the last to join, so I'm the last to present myself. I work for SplitMetrics. This is a software as a service company behind an ecosystem of tools for mobile marketers. In particular, we have SplitMetrics, eponymous tool. This is a platform for out-of-store A/B testing. And our another great product is Search as HQ. This is a platform for Apple Search Ads management, optimization, automation. And I'm the host of App Growth Talks. So if you would like to join me for App Growth Talks, please reach out to me directly. And I'm super excited as well. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, hello guys, again. And hello everyone who joined. Today we will talk about upcoming changes in the App Store. Everyone knows that Apple announced new changes in App Store and new possible options for us to A/B test, to create custom listings for a screenshot, and want to discuss here how this A/B testing feature will change, and how is A/B testing in the App Store in general necessary for your strategy. So because new changes, they're important. Before we couldn't test anything in the App Store. We should use only third-party tools, or some companies I know that they use only Google Play Console for testing, and they apply this test to App Store. The first questions, how is A/B testing of creatives in the App Store is important for your UA strategy, like organic and user acquisition strategy in general?
I could start with taking this one. So I would maybe start with introducing my viewpoint on that. So product page, no matter if that's on Play Store or App Store, is the last step of every mobile acquisition campaign. No matter if we based on Facebook ads, if we do a lot of Snapchats or any other kind of acquisition that comes to your mind, it all ends up in one place, and that one place is always your product page. It can be either on App Store or Play Store, and that's the first thing. The second one is that we as digital marketers usually strive towards being data-driven, right? We all want to be data-driven and make data-based decisions. And A/B testing is one of the tools which we can use to actually become those data-driven marketers, since it's a great way which enable us to, first of all, avoid our gut feelings and basing just on our personal preferences. And secondly, to avoid something what is called such as hippo syndrome. So for those of you who don't know this, hippo syndrome stands for highest paid person opinion, right? When we are making some kind of brainstorm, but at the end, it all ends up with just going for the decision of our manager of director. And A/B testing is a great tool which helps us to, first of all, understand our users' need better, and then base all of our decisions towards creative updates and refreshes on that result. So this is a great thing, and we also were all really looking forward that move from App Store, especially that we know, thanks to the third-party testing tools such as SplitMetrics, that actually there is a difference in preferences among App Store users and Play Store users. Of course, I'm generalizing right now. It all depends on particular app, but I think that we can assume in general that the difference exists, so we can't just simply take the learnings from Play Store and implement them on App Store.
Yeah, from my perspective also, then we do have localized pages in all of our 23 markets. So I think also where the kind of like testing comes into play is how do you find the sort of messaging that works? Like the messaging has to be localized for the market or language, but then again, you still have to find a pretty general message that works, like what was just mentioned, like since like every single person coming through different sources will end up on that page. So you have to find like a combination of being general enough, but then being local enough in that specific market. And for sure, that's not something like, let's say me based in Helsinki, there's no way I can know like what people in Georgia want or would like, even if I was able to make assumptions. So for sure, I think it's definitely something that the testing is kind of the only way to go. There can be hypotheses that we can then test, but otherwise it could go like way wrong if we were just to go with the first instinct.
Yeah, I agree with both Mateusz and Vera, and I agree that A/B testing is a source of knowledge if you rely on data-driven results, if you rely on data always, and it's essential for both App Store optimization for your organic efforts and for paid efforts. How do you know which message works best for this specific kind of audience? What do they prefer? What pains do they have? And A/B testing, again, is a source of knowledge which allows you to find out what this type of audience, of your target audience needs. And this is also essential for your go-to-market strategy if you are just starting, or if you have a lot of game titles, and if you are going to roll out something new. A/B testing is really necessary to find out what you should build to meet your audience's needs. Because, for example, if we talk about games, there are games that help you to relax, right? And there are also mobile games that like bring in something like a competitive spirit. And so what do your audience need? And does your audience need? And you may run a few A/B tests and just find out. So to finish up with this, I think this is really a great source of knowledge for performance marketing, for data-driven marketing, like Mateusz mentioned, so that you could rely not only on your inner gut, on your feeling, on your intuition.
And Ryan, share with us your thoughts.
I kind of take a contrarian view. I think it's good up to a point, and I think it varies from app to app. I think when you have a strong brand or a big enterprise brand, what you have as that first 1.5 screenshots is probably not going to make a difference, because these are brand high intent users. They make up about 95% of all searches. So the amount of testing that you do, if you take those, like if you've run a lot of Google experiments, you know that a brand that's very strong, there's usually not a clear winner. So you can test and test and test and test, and there aren't going to be any clear winners. So that's why I think for localization, I think great. For a major brand, not so interesting. I think for scale up, it's probably very interesting. Unfortunately, I think startups and new apps, it's not really going to help them very much because you're going to need a certain amount of traffic really to have some kind of significance in those tests. I do think it's interesting. I'm not saying it's bad, but I don't think that it's going to be everything that we hope and dreamed it would be. And I don't think it's going to be the same for every company. And I think apps and games, as was mentioned before, I think it's going to be very different there. Games is probably going to get more benefit from the A/B testing, provided that there is an adjustable confidence interval, and they move that confidence interval to 95%, which is where it should be. So.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I have to say that I do agree also with Ryan. Like what we see then is if we compare, like let's say established markets to a newer market, it's definitely a lot more challenging if you have a certain level of brand awareness already to make like a significant difference, because people come to the page with already kind of a certain intention that they already want to download it, or they already have like something in mind. So yeah, I think that's an interesting point as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. When you have a strong brand position in a specific markets, maybe it doesn't change a lot, but then you're like starting the market, maybe you need to try new things and to be sure that the message is correct for this market, because we had this experience with like a different behavior in Germany or, for example, in USA. It's a totally different approach and language you can use. So let's go on. As we discuss how is important A/B testing, but to App Store coming not only A/B testing, as we know, so we can probably in September, I hope, when iOS 15 come and test something in the App Store, but also the new things coming in custom product pages, and it's something different. It's not only about App Store optimization and organic traffic, it's more about user acquisition. So I want to ask you this question. How will the update change your strategy of creative testing? Because you can have like at least 35, as I'm not wrong, variation, and you can drive traffic to specific page, and it's like a lot. So you can create the groups of users and change creatives and drive specific traffic to this user. Still, I don't know how it will look, because it's not available, but I want to know how it's standing in your current strategy, and what are you planning to do maybe when it will come to the App Store.
I can start with this one. So I think it's quite hard actually to know how much it will change things, or will it, before kind of seeing the results, but for sure it will enable us to do a lot more testing when if we do, let's say, like a 360 campaign, offline, online, like a bigger, let's say, like burst in 1 month with a certain kind of messaging, being able to align the App Store with that, but simultaneously not having to kind of like change so that you can have a certain version for that campaign, for example, and then still have several other versions for always on UA. I think that's like a very interesting thing to test, but as I mentioned, like it's still very difficult to say what will the effect of that be. Like it would be easy to make the hypothesis that if it's the same, let's say similar creative that you use in UA, using in the other channels that you are using in the campaign, that it would work better. But of course, that's hard to know. That's something that we are right now also testing already, like without this feature, but I think this will also make it a bit easier. But it remains to be seen then, like what the tracking capabilities of it are, and how deep is it possible to go into also then the results.
Yeah, so I can say that I of course agree with Vera. And maybe specifying this question, I would say that the A/B testing and its impact on creative strategy is quite obvious, and it's what we have already discussed, right? That we can start really leverage that data from native environment, which will be App Store itself, and get some insights about users' preferences from that native environment, and that will be really helpful. So I believe that many companies out there will switch their interest from Play Store or any other ways of testing into the App Store testing, the native one, especially that we know that the general trend is that usually the greatest part of revenue is being generated by iOS users. So understanding those users is really crucial for many businesses out there. And speaking of custom product pages, we still don't know whether they will be able to be A/B tested. However, my assumption is that they will not be able to be A/B tested. So we will be only able to A/B test the default store listing page. But still, there are many use cases for custom product pages, especially the already mentioned here consistency with performance marketing. But right now I'm already moving into another topic, which maybe I shouldn't touch right now. We will probably move to that later. So I will finish on that.
Yeah, we have already, we have some questions which we will follow. So maybe Ryan, you can share your opinion about this topic, because it's like, sorry, I didn't put a lot to this question because it's limit of the characters. You know, the limit of the characters is always pain. So yeah, here we can talk about A/B testing, because before it was impossible and still impossible, will be possible in future, and custom product pages, so two different topics. So you can share opinions on both or on one topic as you wish.
Well, I think that this changes pretty much everything about how we do things. If you're familiar because you work in bigger companies, the teams are always very siloed. So you have the design team over here and the marketing design team and the UA team and performance marketing and growth and product and all of these teams, and it's very difficult to try and pull them together. I think that now that we have more collaborative tools, it seems everybody's using tools like Miro, whiteboards, everyone's using Figma and designing assets on Figma shared, and actually having design sprints or taking that design sprint methodology from Google Ventures and then applying that to ASO and growth marketing and being able to get stakeholders into a week's worth of meetings and develop all the creative hypothesis. So one thing that that I'm introducing to companies is the CPP loop, which is pretty standard, but it just follows the research and mapping, finding out who your users are, the value proposition, the testing and learning, monitoring and measurement. But this is, I think the difference now is that it's going to involve a lot more people than ever before.
Yes, I'm agree, because it's complicated topic. We will have not only pages like for testing, but also some custom pages. And the next question coming about this. But now, Lina, can you share, because your company is like a pioneer, not pioneer, one of the pioneers around A/B testing, and now many companies use it. So how you can predict change, how you work with your clients, or how you will see it affect companies' planning of creatives?
Yeah, thank you so much for this question, Nika. As for custom product pages, I would like to add something. Custom product pages, we think this is a really great update, of course, because it will provide more opportunities for mobile app and game publishers. But if we speak specifically about custom product pages, yes, you mentioned 35 variations, 35 product pages. What we should know about that is the benefit is that this update, this feature will provide us and all publishers with an opportunity to deliver the right message to the right audience, to a specific audience. So this is what we actually mentioned above. For example, if you have mental health and meditation and relaxation app, just imagine you have only one chance to make the first impression, to show your video, your app review, and your first screenshot, and you have a lot of features. For example, in this app you may have features for relaxing after a hard day's night, after work, and also you may have features there to feel vibrant and good in the morning, like feeling good without coffee. And I think you would agree that these features, they are designed for various people, for different audiences. And here's what this update, custom product pages, provides, because you may deliver a certain message and create a specific product page for audience who like to wake up easy in the mornings. And also you may create another page, one of this 34 left pages, which would be designed for the audience who like to fight insomnia and sleep good at night, right? So I think this is really cool. This definitely brings in a lot of opportunities, especially for small companies, for startups. But of course, there are certain limitations which can be early blockers. For example, you won't be able to understand how you could improve your conversion rate for each audience. You just may take a look and see if this right message works well in general, but as far as I understand, you won't get any specific metrics and understand how you could improve your conversion rate. And this is what you can do with our platform, with SplitMetrics. And also, if we speak about not product page optimization, I think we'll speak about it later, right? And if we speak about custom product pages, this is I think this is more designed for paid UA, because as these product pages, they will be available from some specific custom Apple App Store links. As I see it, you create an ad banner ads, place it somewhere for specific, customized for specific audience, and the audience taps on the banner and visits the one custom page designed specifically for this audience. So this is pretty cool, but like I mentioned before, it has a few limitations. And answering your question about our company, SplitMetrics, yes, we are one of the pioneers in the mobile A/B testing market, and that would be a lie if we said that we didn't prepare for that we didn't expect it, didn't expect that. Of course, we expected that, and we actually built a strategy around being, sorry for repeating the word, a strategic partner for each of our clients, because we're not only just a tool for A/B testing, we provide a lot of insights, we help to analyze results, and also we have another product. So to cut this long story short, I would say that we think this is really great update. This brings in a lot of opportunities for mobile app and game publishers, especially for the small ones. But our tool is still essential. The SplitMetrics platform is still essential for A/B testing, as it helps to cover some limitations so that
we can talk about limitations later. Sorry to interrupt you, because we have this question in our plan. So I will agree with all of you. I understand that it's like we have now a lot of work with creatives which sits on App Store optimization, and some part of work sits on UI managers. And now when we will have this option, it will be somehow between alignment, because always in our company, for screenshot responsible, I responsible for all these screenshots, and for creative advertisement responsible another person. And now we should align even more than before. So my next question, it's about this. Just a second. Who should own these custom product pages? In your opinion, App Store Optimization Manager or UA Manager? Because some manager knows more about audience, organic audience who come to store and analyze the behavior, keywords, everything. But UA Manager knows more about paid acquisitions, targeting, and people like in general, because there are different personas, different strategies, different markets. So in your opinion, Vera, as you are starting the first, what do you think about it? Who should own these custom product pages in future when all these updates will come alive?
Yeah, I'm lucky enough to work in a company where we have like UA and ASO integrated into one team. We also have like within the brand team, a team that is dedicated to performance marketing creatives, and they are also kind of like integrated within our team. So we already work really closely together, which makes it easier in terms of like that kind of like everyone already has a lot of the information that is needed for this. From my perspective, I'd say like when it comes to the product pages, like the initiative and ideas could quite largely come from UA managers, since they know, for example, we have a lot of different markets. All of the markets have different activities going on. They have ownerships of this market and their online paid online strategy, so they know whenever something comes up like that could be useful for this kind of use case. So I think from that perspective, like a lot of the initiatives and ideas could come from the UA side. They also know what kind of creatives work well in UA, which provides a lot of info for this, since these are to be used like mostly for paid traffic anyway. But then when it comes to kind of the execution and owning the coordination of producing the creatives, when does everything go live, and actually updating the pages and these kind of things, I think that's still like should be owned by ASO, obviously, because those people are the ones who are used to doing it. They know what to take into account. There's still a lot of details that would take a lot of time for the UA person to actually kind of get to know how does everything work, what needs to be taken into account. So I think like, at least from my perspective, that's how I see it, like to be coordinated by ASO, but a lot in collaboration.
Yeah. Thank you, Vera. Yeah, I also think so, because in our company, everything is aligned. And I think it's a perfect setup. Then you have a UA manager and a SO manager, which always connected to each other, and they know about the strategy. So also, Mateusz, can you share your opinion? Because you work in an agency, I know it can also create a lot of pain for you, because clients who have user acquisitions, the massive campaigns, and also they have a lot of localization, like Wolt has, like a lot markets, a lots of screenshots. I hope no new sizes actually. So yeah, and what do you think about this? Who should own it and execute this?
Yes, so actually our point on that is really similar to what Vera has already mentioned. So we also believe that a custom product page should be owned by ASO teams, since those are the people who really know about all of the guidelines which are out there in storefronts. They know everything about conversion, but they will not be able to provide efficient custom product pages without a very close cooperation with performance marketing teams. Performance marketing teams are the ones who know everything about messaging, about creatives which are resonating with users already, so they can use their learnings to provide us ASO teams with a lot of insights into how to prepare better resonating store listing pages, which will be simply converting better. And also, performance marketing teams can assess the efficiency of a certain custom product page based on return on ad spend, for example, which they see in their dashboards, right? So basing on insights from performance marketing, ASO teams can prepare really outstanding custom product pages, which will be both converting well, and they will be fulfilling all of the guidelines which are made by Apple and Google. And sorry for jumping right now, but I also would like to very briefly come back to the previous question, because I noticed a great part of the question by Lucas, which we missed, and I suppose that it's worth mentioning about the custom product pages. So basically, Lucas asked about the opportunity to define the target audience on Apple and how this could be done. So I just want to add our view on that from the ASO standpoint. So first of all of the custom product pages could be localized on a country level, right? So as you can right now localize your custom product pages, your product pages basically based on the locale that your audience is based on, you would be also able to localize your custom product page. But if you want to add some additional segments, for example, because custom product pages will be a great way of segmenting your audience, then it can be handled through performance marketing, right? Because with performance marketing, as for example, on Facebook ads, you can really pick the audience which you are interested in and which you really want to brought their attention to your ad, and then use that custom product page URL to direct them to the certain custom product page. And by doing that, by cooperating with performance marketing, you can directly aim towards a particular segment of users. And that's a very big advantage of custom product pages, generally segmentation, which can be leveraged on many different areas, especially retargeting, for example. So sorry for jumping in with that. And yeah, I'm leaving the stage right now to the other speakers.
I can address it to Ryan, and we will do this circle. Sorry, and sorry for my interrupted internet. It's happened in Berlin. It was just like 5 seconds. Can you share with us, Ryan, what you think about this?
Yeah, just really quick. I think there's been a lot of points mentioned, but I also think that we need to understand that there's a lot of automation and a lot of tools that are going to come at us really quick. I'm sure Lena and her team, they're all working on automation tools, but before long, we're going to be able to create a large amount of creatives very, very quickly and iterate very quickly, all done through automation. I also think that because we're ASO that all of this is new, but you know, we've got 10 or more years of SEO, and all of this has been done by SEO. So I think when we do have these questions and we're like, well, what are we supposed to do? Who owns it? Well, what does the SEO team do? Who owns the website? How do they work? And I think you apply those same principles to what we're doing in our own teams, and I think there will be a lot of learnings there that will make it a lot easier because, yeah, they have a lot of experience before us.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, we should think before starting to produce how we can do it and who. Yeah, and alignment is important, but yeah. Lena, can you share with us also your thought? But don't mention, please, a limitation. It's an question.
It was just a hint, Nika. I wasn't going to mention this in detail. So this is an intrigue. As for the question about UA and ASO, I think that actually 2021 is the year when these two teams, user acquisition, paid UA, and organic app store optimization, they will unite. I think this transformation has already started, and the iOS 14 and the IDFA deprecation has largely contributed to that. And I think that the paid UA role will continue to transform, and actually these two aspects will unite in one team, and probably we will see growth teams, something new called mobile growth teams, where both the experts on ASO and UA will be present. So I think this like border, it will disappear in the nearest future in most of mobile app and game development companies, and we'll see some general roles that will be responsible for that, for both these aspects. So I think they will unite.
Thank you. I can say in our company we have a growth team, and in the growth team we have a UA manager and ASO manager, as me. I'm not sure I want to take the responsibility of a UA manager to go through all these Facebook, Google ads, because it's too much. But I think the main point here is like a creative strategy for screenshot ads should be aligned with brand and should be aligned to the message we want to present in every market. So it should be, before starting to produce any creatives for paid UA or App Store optimization, we need to be aligned, not to have a two different message for the same market. I can say, and this possibility to have product custom pages, maybe we can align even more to see in the deeper all these people, different audience for the same product. So the next question, actually, we have here a lot of possibilities with upcoming changes, but also we have here a lot of probably limitations, as Lina mentioned already. And I don't want to take to talk a lot about this, but we can shortly talk about them because it's difficult to remember everything. It's a lot of things. So Lina, you can start because I know you prepare this. Can you shortly, briefly tell us about limitations of these upcoming changes?
Thanks, Nika. Before I start, a quick note. I should mention that there will be 2 updates on the App Store. The one we've talked about is custom product pages, right? This is 35 custom product pages versus the general one. But there also will be another update, which is called, I think, product page optimization, which means like an analog to A/B testing, to out-of-store A/B testing. This will be the control variation versus only 3 variations, 3 variants of your product page, and you will be able to create custom icons, screenshots, and app previews. The first limitation is that this product page optimization feature will be available for one language only. For example, if you have 3 localizations, like for example, English, German, and French, only if you try this for the German locale, only users for this locale will see various pages. For other languages, this just won't work. And to keep it short and sweet, like you asked, first of all, another limitation is you won't be able to test anything before rolling out the products, before rolling out the new features, right? And in this case, out-of-store A/B testing might help you. For example, you are starting a new product and you're thinking about choosing the right concept. You're thinking about your audience. Should it be, for example, the game for women, for men, or this should be an educational app for kids? And with out-of-store A/B testing platforms, third-party platforms, you can find it out actually, and with the App Store new features, this will be impossible. The second limitation is this is about mobile gaming. As I mentioned before, mobile gaming is an interesting business, and before you build a successful game, you should cover multiple aspects. At this stage, of development, of choosing the concept, there is a lot of arguments. There are a lot of arguments always, and different team members might have various opinions. And if you don't check every aspect and don't make sure that this new product will meet the needs of your specific target audience, this won't work, and you would just lose a lot of resources. You would lose time, money, and why doing so. Another limitation is Apple has already announced that all your, if we talk about product page optimization and these 3 variations, right? And I think this is this also concerns custom product pages, right? All your variations, all your pages should be approved with Apple. This is like a usual approval process, and this will take a lot of time. Also, if you are rolling out something new and you violate some rules when you are preparing your product page, you might get banned in the App Store, and I think this is a huge risk here. And with out of store A/B testing, with third-party platforms, not only SplitMetrics, there are also other products, you don't have such a risk. And last but not least, all of us know that this is a highly competitive environment. The mobile world, the competition is getting tougher and tougher. And if you test something with these Phiture App Store tools, if you try these product pages optimization or these custom product pages, your competitors, they will be able to easily see what you are doing. For example, you're going to roll out a new feature and you try to show it to a specific audience with custom product page. Your competitors will be able to see it as well. They might just want to steal your idea or steal your ideas for customizing your pages. They may borrow a lot of your ideas, and the competition will get even more tougher. So this is also a risk which you could avoid with some third-party platforms.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I never thought about stealing ideas, because we, like,
Nika, we can't hear you right now. I think there's something with Nika's internet, but I think she'll reconnect. Oh, Nika, we didn't hear you for a minute, I think so. Could you please repeat what you've just said?
Do you see me? No, hear me?
Yeah,
it's really in connection, sorry. Thank you for sharing your thoughts, Lina, and limitations. I never thought about stealing ideas, but now I realize more that we will not have the same as in Google Play we have. So with all these updates, we need to approve. So Ryan, can you share your thoughts, because you're working with many companies as a freelancer? What do you think about this? It will be easy for people to test this tool, or it also, if this limitation is not so easy?
Yeah, there's always going to be limitations. I mean, if Apple's previous rollouts of Apple search ads and even their own analytics platform is anything to go by, we're just going to have lots of trouble. So I'm not really concerned that much with A/B testing. I think that A/B testing for browse users is almost a waste of time. Like, there's a lot more things that can be done for acquisition versus trying to get those users who are not really looking for your app. They're more exploratory users. So you're trying to optimize a page for exploratory users. I don't really see the benefit. I think there's a lot more interesting things that are in the pipeline with iOS 15 that makes the PPO kind of like, okay, yeah, I'm like, we'll do it. There will be limitations, but I don't really see it's that big a deal, in my opinion.
Thank you. Yeah. What do you think, Vera? Maybe because we are preparing for these upcoming changes, and also everyone is interested. Like, how do you see? So I never thought about the limitation that Lena mentioned, like in such wide perspective, because we just started. What do you think? This like a problem, or it's just a normal process like with other tools?
Yeah, I think when it comes to the A/B testing, let's see. But I think there like a quite crucial part is also how is the measuring. Like, you can A/B test something, but like, what are the capabilities of like editing the or not even editing, but actually seeing the formula that is used for calculating statistical significance, anything like this. I think that's going to be also quite determine quite largely like how useful the tool is. If we think of like Google Play's logic, which definitely is not ideal, if we are to get anything similar, then I think that will already like, it will like make it, let's say, less useful. And then I think also this is probably like something that will then happen over time. But when it comes to the custom product pages, this is more like from a UA perspective, but also a lot of the channels right now might not be. They have like app campaigns integrated where you kind of direct people to the App Store. You don't use links, and these custom product pages require you to use a specific link, which is not an app link, but like a link to the App Store. So I think this is also quite interesting then, like how do the channels conform into this? I could see, for example, quite a lot of potential with Google Ads, like creating themed ad groups with themed creatives and then kind of including this feature into that part of UA. But right now that's not possible, or they have like some beta products, but nothing that would kind of allow you to really use this. So then I think that will also be something that remains to be seen, like how widely can this be used and how will the different UA channels play together with this feature in the future.
Thank you, Vera. And Mateusz, you are.
Yeah, so just to conclude, I would say that I see it rather like questions to be answered than limitations, since we still don't know much about it. And referring to the previous speakers, it can be either with the statistical significance level, right, which could be adjustable, and that would be great if we would have higher statistical significance than we have currently in Google Play Store experiments. This will help us prevent many false results being applied. Maybe not only that, but this is usually a huge factor influencing this thing. Additionally, speaking of how to cope with the issue of app actually installed optimized campaigns, right, where there is no place currently for placing links. So I also discussed that topic with some of my colleagues from performance marketing team. And as far as I'm concerned, many people assume that there will be some solution connected with deferred deep links, right, which will enable UA campaigns to target the specific custom product pages, but we still don't know that. So that's like another question to be answered. Also, a big thing which will help us to run better experiments is the insights into how the experiments are basically run, right? So if we would have access to the traffic segmentation, for example, to see how many users from the experiment actually are coming from search, browse, or any other traffic source, right? From your referral, for example. If we will have all of this information, this will be amazing. This will be a huge competitive advantage over Play Store experiments. But right now, we still need to wait to have all of these answers, all of these questions answered, basically.
Yeah, thank you. I also think we have this limitation with tracking, because now with even iOS 14, we have this problem with scaling networks, and there's some discrepancy in between channels. And then Apple will add some additional analytics, understand metrics and everything for these custom product pages, and maybe for product pages. We'll have this also not limitation, but maybe problems to understand and gather all data in one place. So I think we need to see how to look in the iTunes Connect and then test it like a few months, and not to do this like just after the release, because it's a lot of things we need to figure out how it's working. And the last question, I hope we're on time. When do you expect these updates will be available? Because I see this talking in the channels that maybe it's not coming to with iOS 15 in September, so maybe we can expect it not in the end of the year, maybe next year. So what do you think about this and how it's affect the strategy? Should we start to prepare something for this to like closer to the iOS 15, at least some strategy, or should we wait until it will be released and roll out for everyone?
Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to jump in. No, go ahead.
No worries.
Ryan, you can start. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just going to say that it's my understanding that PPO is going to happen in September, but the CPP is not until January, and I mean I think that's what's being talked about, I guess, but I think that for being prepared, I think it's good that we're talking about these things. We're analyzing it. We're asking questions. We're having these webinars. I think this is very good because a lot of people are the ones that are going to win are the ones that are going to be prepared. So I just know right now, like the Figma files have just exploded with all different variations. So with some of the clients that I'm working with. So I do know I'm trying to kind of prep them and say, look, we need to have a very large backlog of creative ready to go for when this goes live. We'll be able to implement it fairly quickly.
Thank you, Ryan. Vera, you can go.
Yeah, I also don't have any like super great insight into the actual timing. I think when it comes to preparing, I think like already starting to think about these things, like maybe like not having, even if there's not like a super concrete strategy in place, like starting to gather, like have this this kind of thinking that, okay, this is now something that is available, and starting to spot the use cases in our daily work, all that kind of thing. That's like already really useful because that's something we're gonna need to do in the future. And then possibly like also briefing the creative team or planning with them, like I'm thinking they produce all of the UA assets we have, like can we somehow integrate that with the custom product pages whenever there's a large enough like creative, like a large enough, let's say like a theme or a big batch of creatives with a similar message, that we would then kind of automatically add this into the production. So then we would have kind of like an ongoing pipeline for this stuff as well.
Thank you. Mateusz, and what are your thoughts about, also you like have a clients and all the many companies working with. So.
Yeah, so first of all, I also heard about some rumors saying that custom product page will be released later on in the first half of 2022, while product page optimization will be released in the mid-September, so quite close from now. However, from the other side, if we simply listen to the Prabha Bashyam speak, the person who was pre-announcing all of the changes on WWDC website, she mentioned that both product page optimization and custom product page will be released later this year. So basing on that, this gives us some assumptions, some area for assumptions that maybe this will be released this year as well. However, we never know, right? So anyway, I would suggest to start thinking about covering those changes in all of the strategies that you are having, especially creative strategy, because this will add a lot of pressure on all of the design teams. And it is really good to start thinking about the strong hypotheses and what really you want to test there, in order not to simply run the test for the purpose of running tests, but just to get a better understanding of our users' preferences, what they really like, and to plan the test in a way in which they will not only increase our conversion rate, but especially they will provide us with more insight into our users. And that's something what we should really leverage that for, and this should be really beneficial in that area. Also, all of the things such as building roadmaps, planning the work allocation, and this should all be helpful. And I would definitely advise doing that in advance, because we all probably expect those changes to happen either this year or soon at the beginning of 2022.
Thank you. And Lina? Go ahead.
Thanks, Nika. I also think that these changes might come into force in September 2021, and I think Apple might roll out both features. But as Mateusz said, we never know. And as we see an example of, for example, the IDFA deprecation, right? This update was postponed for a few times. So this could come into force in September or later this year. We can only guess. We don't have a crystal ball. And as for preparation, there is such a small trend as creatives recycling. Like in the world of fashion, what worked previously might work today. So I talked, as part of App Growth Talks, I talked to a lot of experts, and I can see this trend because some ASO and UA teams, they now reuse the creatives they used previously. So I don't think you should hastily prepare a lot of creatives right now, thinking what we could build right now to be fully armored, because when these updates are released, you might want to use something from your visual assets bank. And yes, I also agree that a strong hypothesis is what matters most always in A/B testing. So what you can do right now is to start thinking about hypotheses that you would like to A/B test. And for example, if you are going to roll out some new features in September 2021 or a bit later, these updates might be really useful for you.
Thank you. This is like all question I wanted to ask you, and we have a few minutes. I don't want to spend a lot of your time this amazing evening. I can look for the question. We have some questions which related to what we already discussed. Like, will custom product pages the same like a Play Store? And I think we don't know how they will look. We have some like assumption that it could be the same or maybe not the same. So maybe you have your thoughts how it will look. Because I have no idea, just like I know that will be some metrics in these custom product pages, but still I don't know how it will be close to the Google Play, or it will be something new, fresh. So,
well, the biggest difference is going to be in the targeting system. So Google's like their custom stores, they can only target users based on location, like the country, or the install status. And Apple's custom product pages can only be displayed to customers from outside of the store. So that puts the challenge on the referrer, actually. And on Apple, you can only test the icon, the title, and the subtitle cannot change. So that has to stay very close to the default product page. And Google only has 5 custom store listings, and so Apple is going to have 35. So I think those are probably the biggest differences.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I also think that it'll be with limitation as we discussed. So because in Google Play you can run all your testings all the time without releasing new version. But for Apple, I'm not sure they will allow you to test anything before like a release and approve the version. So it could be also different. So you need to prepare everything before release new version. So these custom pages or A/B testing should be prepared before new release. So it could be the lag between versions. Okay, I'm looking for other question. We have specific things here. The one for user acquisition, would be possible to show specific screens to support fan and specific screens? And not clear. I think yes.
So I can take that one because it's related to the previous question from Lucas, probably on defining the audience.
Yes.
So again, here there will be not like a native functionality inside App Store that you could target users showing some interest in sports, for example. But you could do that in a similar way through your performance marketing activity, right? So you can try to target those audience with your Facebook ads, for example, then prefer consistent custom product page to which your ads from Facebook will link. And in that way, you can actually target the same kind of audience, having already optimized and consistent custom product page, which will provide your visitors, the smooth transition from your ad into the custom product page.
Yeah, thank you, Matish.
But beyond the product performance marketing, though, one thing that we haven't even talked about, which is where the better users are going to be, is working through community and content and using those links not from Google, not from Facebook, but from influencers, from campaigns, from all sorts of different campaigns where we'll be able to use those links, even QR codes where the link's wrapped into the QR code. There's going to be a lot of ways, and I think as marketers and ASO people, we're really going to have to expand our knowledge and our channels and what we're doing, and not only just focus on Google and Facebook, because there are a lot of other channels that are untapped, and this custom product page is perfect for those channels.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I also sometimes I'm feeling like I'm an inbox, like I'm caring about my pages, and now you're a manager caring about the other channels, and we somehow stuck between them. But yeah, it's a really great opportunity if we can use these custom product pages in different channels. And yes, it's actually I need to explore myself also. And I think we don't have many questions. So the last one, and I think we can go and enjoy evening. So the custom product page can be different link-wise for the campaigns. Yes, every custom link page should have their own link, and there are limitations of amount of these custom pages. Yes.
Yeah, also answering the question of differences between Google and Apple, actually the thing with custom product pages and URL is also the biggest advantage of App Store solution, right? To all of the things which Ryan mentioned, it's not only performance marketing, it's also about all of other marketing channels which we can use and leverage. And this is something that was not previously available and possible to be done with Google Play Store, right? And right now, with having this particular URL that we could use and target everywhere we want across our marketing channel, this gives us as marketers really huge new possibilities.
Thank you. Anyone would want to add something? And if not, we can finish.
I think that in-app events are there. I think there's already some crazy strategies that you're going to be able to do with that. That's going to take up so much real estate. I think that's a whole nother webinar, but I think in-app events is really pretty cool. Some of the new analytics around pre-orders is pretty cool. And just the added analytics. Apps on Mac, I think, is going to be a game changer, especially in finance and travel. And I think app clips are amazing, and they're underused, and hopefully we get another webinar to talk about some of those things.
Yeah, Apple releasing so many things, and I know that app clips is not in wide use among the marketers because not every app can use them. There are so many things. Unfortunately, it's impossible to cover everything. So we have touched the basic stuff in apps. Also, not every app has an app, you know. Some apps have physical products. So it's a different strategy for every type of app. So, and games. So we can explore when it will appear, the new webinar. So I see happy faces and we are free. Thank you very much for joining. Sorry for interrupts with internet, and sometimes maybe connection was not perfect. I'm really happy to have such a great experts here, and I hope you can see you offline on upcoming events if it's possible, and to meet you in live. And thank you for all who join us today. And if you will have questions, you also can send them, but we can't answer today. But you can find us through the ASO Slack channel, and you always can, you're free to ask anything. Yeah. Bye, guys.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Thanks a lot.
Nice in there.
Bye.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Have a nice evening, guys. Bye.
Bye.